Welcome to the JA Invest for Your Future stock market simulation. We are very grateful for Future Financiers allowing us to use their platform. As the volunteer or teacher, the first step is to go to www.futurefinanciers.com and simply click on Log In. When you click on that, you're going to enter the email address that JA has on file for you, as well as the password that you have set up. JA does not have access to that, and so you should have received an email to set that password, and if for some reason you don't, please contact the JA staff. After clicking submit, you may or may not see this specific prompt. If you are enrolled in more than one class period, you should receive this, but depending on when we put it in and when you activated your account, even if you have more than one section, you might not see this, and that's okay. So don't let that throw you off, but if you do have the select your role screen, you're just simply going to select the class period that you are working with, and please just ignore the right-hand information that says on Saturday, December 31st. They happen to load a dummy event for us in the fall semester, and it's just a placeholder event. So you'll notice that that is not accurate. We actually want you just to ignore everything on the bottom side of the screen. Again, it's a fictitious live event that does not exist, so you can ignore all reminders. We just want you to focus on this second bar up here. All you're going to do is once you log in, and if you didn't have to select your role, this is the screen it would take you directly to, and this is where you want to be. Simply hover over practice sessions in the middle. So once you log in, come here to practice sessions, and we're just going to work from the top down. So first you're going to practice, you're going to set up a practice session, and you are going to click the game in which you want to play. If you've hosted in the past, you'll notice that they have retired games 1 through 5, which we used to play. We would suggest using game number 6 to start with, and then you can read the other scenarios and select the one you feel like would be best in your class. You can also repeat game 6 for your second session if you'd like, and then do number 7 for your final competition. They are planning to replace those sessions with new ones, and we just don't know the timing on that. So whatever you see on your screen, just know those are your options. You're simply going to select your game and then select how many teams of students are ready to play at this moment. So typically anywhere from 10 to 16 works the best, depending on how many students you have in your class. And if you can do 2s or 3s, that does work the best. You're going to click on the select scenario button, and you're going to just wait for a moment. You'll see up here that it is spinning. It does take a good 20 to 30 seconds for it to pop up. And once it does, you are going to notice that on the bottom section, you have your team numbers and your pins. You can just ignore the team name. That is just unnecessary information that's auto-generated. JA will be providing you slips of paper that walk the students through how to log in, and on those slips of paper, you're going to want to handwrite the team number as well as their pin. Please note that there are a mix of numbers and alpha, so you might need to differentiate between a 0 and an O, and it is case sensitive. So please keep that in mind, that the students need to have that case sensitive. So once you get this and you write down all of those codes, what you can do is hover back over on practice sessions and click on the next 3 buttons. So practice stock listing, you're going to notice it opens in a new tab. Go back, hover again, click on the display screen, again, go back, and then do the final control panel. What you'll notice is that the practice stock list is going to directly correlate with the game that you have selected. We have not printed these because, again, we're not sure how he's going to be changing those games. So what we encourage you to do is to have multiple students, like have both students or all students on their team log in on different devices, and then they can look at it on their screen and have more than one copy. What you're going to notice, this is the display screen. It does look just a little bit different from last year. It's actually simplified, and it also models what the live event will look like. So what you'll notice is on the right-hand side, we have the top 5 team portfolios. You have the stock listing here in the center. It will show the current price, how it's changed in the past day, and how it's changed over the last 3 days. If it's at its ultimate low, it's in red. And if it's at its ultimate high, it will be highlighted in blue. On the bottom left, you're going to see the team rankings, as well as their cash, their net worth, and their return on investment. On the bottom right-hand side, you might see a Google slide. You can just disregard that. It might be either updated with a local content, or he might take it off. Again, with this fall semester, we're kind of working with him on some of these nuances that we have. You are going to notice that there is breaking news scrolling on the top. So we encourage you as the volunteer and teacher to do some shout outs about what's happening and help the students understand why is the stocks, going up or down. There is the top movers will be scrolling, as well as significant volume moves as well. So this is the display screen, and the students will have access to that as well. The control panel is the same as in years past. You are simply going to click on next turn when you are ready to advance the game. This countdown timer is just simply here for pacing. You can do it ahead of time, and you can wait and pause and allow the students more time as well. I definitely encourage you to give the students a couple minutes, especially the first couple rounds, as they're learning the simulation and as they're deciding on what stocks to purchase. You can just simply click next turn whenever you're ready, and you'll notice that it starts that ticker countdown timer all over again. And when you click back over to display screen, you'll notice we are now in day one and things are starting to move. And so that will be the volunteer teacher side. I'm going to come on over to show you how a student logs in. So the students are also going to go to futurefinanciers.com, and they are simply going to come to the middle and click on student practice login. When you click on that, they are simply going to pick JA of South Dakota, and then they're going to enter that PIN number that you hand wrote on their sheet of paper. So again, they are going to just simply put that PIN in, and they're going to hit submit. And then what they're going to see is when they hover over practice sessions, they're going to open all three of these tabs. So again, they've got the stock listing, they've got the display screen, and they also have the transaction screen. The first time they go to the transaction screen, they're going to need to repeat their code. And when they hit log in, that's going to get them in. I would just walk through what the steps are for the students. The action is going to tell them what they want to do. They can buy a specific specified amount, buy all, which will put in the rest of the money that they have. They can sell a specific amount or sell all of a stock, etc. They can also add a stop loss and a remove stop loss. I personally just encourage them to ignore that, but they can put that on. Basically, if they wanted to add a stop loss, if the stock got down to that price, the computer would automatically sell it for them. They will also want to note that you can change from dollars to shares. I really encourage them to use dollars in the beginning so that they're putting in $10,000 or $25,000 at a time in order to get their stocks purchased. Once they indicate what they want, they hit on submit. And if everything went through, it'll be green. If it's red, there was an error message. You're going to notice that their team portfolio is on the right-hand side, simply shows what shares they own, how much cash they still have on hand, what's their return on investment, etc. So this is going to start also showing their trading history. So this will get more and more complex as they get into the game. Again, we would encourage all the students in each group to pull this up, have one student focus on submitting the transactions, but have the other team members pulling up the display screen as well as looking at these practice stock listings so that more eyes can be seeing and you don't have to toggle back and forth. From there, the students would just continue to play. We encourage you to we encourage you to watch for the breaking news that comes, etc. When you're done with the specific class period as the teacher, what you're going to want to do is you're going to simply want to log out and just simply log back in for your next class period. So again, you can use the same login and you can use the same class period if you're not given that select role, and just simply set up a new game. You're going to get those new pins and go from there. We do not encourage you to carry a game forward from one day to the next. If you want to do that and you don't have the class period specified, please let us know. If you wanted to carry one forward, you would need to keep those specific student pins, and they would need to log in with that specific information the next time you play. And again, that does get a little bit confusing, especially with students that may or may not be, in class that specific day, etc. So that is just a little overview of the simulation and how to log in and play a game. Please feel free to reach out to staff if you have any questions. Thanks so much.